bugs.
You ever wish
I just want to make it very clear that I hate bugs, and Chavez keeps bringing me here for these damn bug videos, and I don't deserve it. I'm a good wife to you.
Have you ever wanted your insects to have mandibles? Have you ever wanted them to have jaws? My wife likes bugs more than she likes to admit.
No, I don't.
She likes to hate them.
Speaking of which, I was driving, minding my own business, okay? And then I parked where I needed to go.
Yeah.
Because I had made it to my destination.
Okay.
And I closed the windows.
Boom.
Okay, because I was driving with my windows open and I closed the windows. And then I was trapped in the car with a ladybug.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong? That is the cutest bug to be stuck in there with.
I couldn't get him out. And I didn't want him to die. We live in Vegas. He cannot just be in my car. He will die.
I used to do pest control. My wife hasn't even seen a bug in the house except a fly for the entire time that we've lived here.
Yeah.
Every time she sees anything other than a flying something, she completely freaks out. Completely.
I avoided my kitchen for 2 days because Chavez refused to kill the spider.
I didn't refuse.
He couldn't find it. It was right there.
I was about to say, I didn't see it.
It was right there.
So anyways, Trap Jaw Ants by Zay Frank.
I'm gonna take notes.
Okay, let's do it.
Mildred, don't do it. Don't do it. He's bigger than you. Oh, well, there she did it. Jerry, Mildred's gone off the table again.
Damn.
Sorry, you'll have to excuse Mildred.
Oh my God.
She gets triggered quite easily, kind of a cash me outside sort of ant. And to be fair, she does have prior beef with Dr. Adrian Smith's finger, which we will not be talking about. But if you really want to understand Mildred's quick temper, you'll need the backstory, because she's had quite a tough time of it.
Okay.
Mildred is an ant in the genus Odontomachus and the species Bruneus. Here she is when she was just an egg.
Damn.
She's the one on the top. She was born into a family with around 300 sisters and a very long line for the bathroom. That's one of her older sisters right there, Madison. Madison is supposed to be babysitting, but you can probably tell she has some issues. Madison takes after their father. There he is right there, the one on the left. Looks nothing like the daughters, so there were rumors, but in fairness, Odontomachus males don't even look like ants. They look like wasps, so much so that even scientists get confused.
Right.
But Mildred's father was a live fast, die young sort of fellow.
Live fast, die young, bad ants do it well. Live fast, no.
I'm listening. I was rewinding it so you could see it move in slow motion while you say it.
I don't want to do that. Live fast, die young, bad ants do it well.
And also, don't they die after they mate anyways, like the drones?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think there's way more females than males in ant colonies.
And Mildred's mother, who is an actual queen, by the way, was into it. So they had a one-night stand, and then he never came back.
Yeah, he died.
Because he was dead. Jenny, do we have any footage of him when he's not drunk? This is embarrassing. The point is, Mildred's mother had to go dig a hole somewhere and raise the children all by herself. I know what you're thinking. How could it be a one-night stand if Mildred's sister is so much older than her? Well, that's because Mildred's mother, who is a queen, has something called a spermatheca. A spermatheca is... All right, imagine you're on the Wheel of Fortune, and the answer is scumbag, but someone still has to guess an S. Jenny, I didn't say any... Oh, you were bleeping what they were thinking. Right. It is an organ that stores sperm and keeps it alive for later use. Like the mirror image of a testicle. Anyway, back to Mildred. Here she is, just hatching from her egg as a larva, and now fully emerged.
Look at that beautiful little baby. I mean, just so many... First of all, the little feet at the top are so cute. But
what is wrong with
other
you?
than that, it's a pretty horrific thing.
You probably noticed the spikes. Well, to give you an idea of how rough it is in this family, those spikes are probably to protect her from her larvae sisters, because when they hatch, they're hungry. And this isn't like those other ants who pre-chew the food and gently put it into the baby's mouths. You know what they do here? They dump a whole friggin' termite right on the baby's belly and let them have at it. And look at that, they put the termite too far down and now the poor thing has to do sit-ups. Now, you might have noticed something else. Right here, those 4 little bumpy things. Scientists call these sticky doorknobs. Not kidding. Sounds like a good name for a band. Jerry, why did I said You think I said Tell me, what is a band, Jerry? The bleep button is a privilege. Amateur.
What's a fuck band? It's a funk band, not a fuck band. Same thing. We fuck around here.
Sticky doorknobs. What was that band that we just listened to?
The Orange Doors.
Orange Doors.
There's a band that goes, they don't say it's good, they say it fucks.
Yeah.
That's what makes me laugh. Yeah. I said that in the video. They were like, it fucks. I'm thinking like literally. I was like, no, like it's good. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, these sticky doorknobs, which they probably called sticky knobs first until the UK scientists were like, nope. These sticky doorknobs are used to stick the larvae right up onto the wall. And then the babies have to spin their own blankie, cocoon, whatever, with crap that comes out their face parts. Like a nursery from hell.
You puke out your
inside that cocoon, Mildred could finally develop into an ant. Now, being the daughter of a queen, you'd expect Mildred to be a princess. But you know what they call her? A worker.
Yeah,
that's some Cinderella shit right there.
Normal.
The beginning of Cinderella. Not the part with that woman who makes transportation out of vegetables. I mean, that is some very niche magic. So here's Mildred out hunting. Not great at it. The termites like, what the hell, get it over with. But she wasn't born into this job. Not like other ants where there's soldiers and...
Bro, you seen that video with the dude that hunts people with a spoon? Just like beating the shit out of him with a spoon until he dies? That's so sad. The termites pinned down. Just like, bro, please just kill me, dog. I can't leave.
You know what this makes me think of? The fact that reportedly Henry VIII hired a French swordsman to behead Anne Boleyn.
Oh,
so that she didn't have to deal with like having her head hacked off by somebody with an axe.
Because they suck at it.
Yeah, because sometimes they would just be fucking hacking away. They just talked about that in the Shogun show too. Where he said it took nine tries.
You know how hard it is to cut a head off clean? That shit don't happen without practice.
Yeah.
You've seen the guys try to chop through the bamboo and fail. That's your head, dog. Yeah.
But she wasn't born into this job, not like other ants where there's soldiers and workers and everyone's a different size and can't share clothing. There is a hierarchy, and workers do have different roles, but it's determined by duking it out.
She's gonna get
Now, it's
fired.
not like a barroom brawl sort of duking it out, more like a high-speed tippy-tappy slap fight. They use their antennae to pop each other on the noggin 30 to 40 times a second.
Wow.
Here it is in slow motion, and this behavior is apparently satisfactory in determining who is more dominant.
All right.
The winners get to stay in the nest, and the losers have to put their ass on the line and go out hunting.
Damn.
That means the weak ones, like the noobs and the boomers, do the dangerous work. It's all topsy-turvy.
That doesn't make any sense.
And that's why Mildred, being a noob, is out of the nest hunting.
Yeah.
Unlike other ants who recruit each other with pheromones and hunt in groups, Mildred hunts alone. This is in part because she's a total freaking badass. You've probably noticed the snappy mandibles, and we'll get to that in a second. But that's not her only weapon. She's also equipped with a very pointy butt.
That's also how I catch my wife when she runs upstairs.
God.
Two stylets inside of her stinger move back and forth to deliver venom into the body of her prey.
That is not what I do. That's not what I'm referring to.
Yeah, tell them.
Inject you with venom.
Sure, it might seem like Mildred's overdoing it a bit with his termite. It seems quite defenseless, but you never know. Termite might be talking shit. Back to those mandibles. Ants use their mandibles to grab, kind of like having pinchy fingers for a mustache. But ants in the genus Odontomachus can also spread theirs wide apart and then snap them shut like a trap.
Wow.
This motion is incredibly fast. The mandibles accelerated up to 1.2 million meters per second square, which is about 10 times faster than a fastball being hit by a bat. It is one of the fastest movements of any known animal.
Wow.
I told you Mildred was a badass. And you know how she does it? A good clenching. Here's what one of her mandibles looks like up close. Kind of like a recalled sex toy. Jerry, show them what you made. It's a bit easier to understand.
Bro, what?
Roughly speaking, there's three main components to Mildred's trap jaw. First, when the mandible is opened wide enough, a little sticking out part slots into a groove. Next, the mandible closing muscles tighten. Because the mandible is held in place, this builds up potential energy, both in the muscle, but also by deforming the skull of the ant.
Whoa.
Finally, given the appropriate signal, another muscle releases the mandible from the catch, and then they pop right up like a midnight erection. One of the signals that determines when to pull the trigger comes from these little hairs. It's not an automatic reflex, but these little hairs seem to act as range finders, putting the prey at just the right distance.
Wow.
These jaws are remarkable weapons for hunting, but they can also be used in defense. The mass of the mandible is small, about that of a grain of salt. But the acceleration is quite large.
Praise
And that
out.
means when it meets resistance, it generates a force large enough to create a bit of recoil. Here's a better view, with another one of Dr. Adrian Smith's fingers that doesn't have the best reputation. This ability to strike and retreat comes in handy, because there's a lot of scary shit out there. For example, this ant right here, Formica archboldi. Freaking psycho. See those things around it? You know what they are?
Heads.
Skulls of trap-jaw ants that it keeps in its nest.
Heads.
Who knows what it does with them?
Yeah.
And this ant doesn't have a trap jaw or a stinger. You know what its weapon is? It fires
Pulling.
acid out of its butt.
Oh,
and
what?
trust me, if you have butt acid...
What?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. Yeah, he's got a butt explosion.
Okay.
Bro, he's got 12 a.m. Taco Bell.
All right.
That shit's crazy. The weapon.
Its
The
weapon is?
fucking weapon.
It fires acid out of its butt.
God
and trust me, if you
damn.
have butt acid coming at you, you'd better have an escape plan. Because if you get hit, you're done for.
Oh, he's
and
on
this
you,
one
too.
here is even worse. I know it doesn't look that bad,
an
but
ant.
when it's a baby, it's downright terrifying.
ant?
These so-called ant lions dig little pits into the
ant
sand
lion.
and
Got
hide
it.
down in them. An ant comes along, falls in, starts trying to get out, and then the ant lion starts throwing sand
Yep.
at it until it falls back in and gets impaled by these jaws that have digestive juices in them. Scary stuff. It's like being in kindergarten and having a biter in the ball pit. But if Mildred falls in, she opens up her mandibles and angles them down and into the ground.
Badass.
Snapping them shut, she catapults herself out of the pit and away from the jaws of the ant.
So they know that it makes them fly away?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Knowing that this thing's gonna make me, I'm about to get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah,
I got a
I gotta
jetpack. Beak.
Gotta go fast.
And they kind of also know that the gravity is not gonna kill them.
Yeah.
What a fucking awesome superpower.
Lion. Timing is everything. If she waits too long, she's fucked. But ants like Mildred in the genus Odontomachus aren't the only ants with spring-loaded mouthparts.
That's cool.
In fact, it appears that this capability has evolved independently in a number of different ant genera. The size of the ant, the shape of the mandible, and even the mechanism for spring-loading varies
Right.
from species to species. Tiny little leaf litter trap jaws in the genus Stromogenus use their mandibles to catch bugs that are incredibly fast, like the springtail. I mean, come on, it's called a springtail, you know it's fast. There's even an ant, Mystrium camillae, that doesn't even have to open its mandibles for a snap. Instead of spreading its mandibles apart, it generates force by pushing them together, like the knees of a child who has to urinate. When the mandibles snap, they slide past each other, like the snapping of a finger. This snap, captured at over 400,000 frames per second, was the fastest animal movement ever described. Until they found a friggin' termite that does basically the same thing, but a little faster. The ants were like, why'd you have to keep looking? And that's the problem with the scientists. They can't be like the rest of us and just say, that's cool, and flip on the television.
It's never good enough for them. They're always on the search for the next big discovery.
And it's just like 0.1 faster. Wow.
Oh my God.
We made the discovery. This is awesome. This is the best video I've ever seen.
They're like those annoying children that keep asking why, except people give them money, not much. Thank goodness, because it encourages them. Anyway, a bunch of them got together with their little white coats and wanted to understand how a mechanism like the trap jaw might have evolved and taken on such a variety of forms.
Right.
In the genus Stromogenus, there are species with trap jaws and species without them. In ants,
Yeah. Go ahead. I know. I'm with you. I'm with you
Stromogenus,
here.
there are
No,
species.
you're spitting right now. Yeah.
And loaded with
The middle
strap.
guy, the strap jaw. Yeah, and then the one on the left is like the grip. Oh my God.
In ants that don't have a trap jaw, the part in between the mandibles, the labrum, moves out of the way when the jaws close. Just a slight modification of allowing the labrum to stay put creates the basis for a latch and spring system. And from there it was off to the races. The varied forms of the Stromogenous trapjaw seem to be the result of gradual evolutionary changes that occurred after that initial function was in place.
Okay.
It's a cool little movie, isn't it? Oh, they're
actually
doing
really
it
dope.
again, but with the heads on them.
Right.
It's like a cartoon to terrify the children. Play this in a sex ed class without telling anyone what it is. And then say, always use a condom. And drop your microphone, which apparently you use in sex ed class. No, Jerry, I don't know what the backstory is. Well, what Dr. Adrian Smith does with his fingers is none of our business.
That's so good. Thanks, Dr. Adrian Smith.
They're just bouncing. They're just bouncing everywhere.
No, drop another one.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. Again.
Drop it.
Again.
So twisted.
I love it. It's not twisted because they're fine. It'd be twisted if they were injuring themselves, but they're fine.
Is it sticky? Sticky icky? Sticky don't know. What's that?
Bro, what the hell goes on in your brain before you make this music?
Okay, I have 2 notes that I wrote down.
All right, give me number 1.
A single mom who works 2 jobs, who loves her kids and never. That was what was going through my head when he was talking about Mildred's mom.
Okay, next song. I like that you wrote it.
I didn't write it. That's Reba.
Who's Reba? I don't know Reba.
You know who Reba.
What's their name?
Her name is Reba.
Reba, this person.
Yeah, you know who Reba McEntire is.
She sings? Something, I'm a mom.
Okay, so that's the first one. My first, and then my second note was Kegel mouth.
Wow. All right, so you're done. My wife's fired. We're out.
He said it was like a clenching that like led to the trap jaw thing, and I was like, oh, like Kegels when you
clench.
Also, Kegels are a very important exercise
rocks that
to
go
do.
in your vagina.
No.
They're vagina rocks.
Kegels are the exercise that you do, and they're
by
very
doing
important.
What?
They're very important for your pelvic floor.
What?
You don't have to put rocks in there.
You put rocks in your vagina?
You don't have to.
They're vagina
You can do
rocks.
Kegels without that.
And you charge them in the moon, according to Instagram.
No, you're talking about yoni eggs. Those are different things.
Oh, okay. One's laying an egg, the other one's holding rocks.
Okay.
Who gives a shit? The point is, keep your pussies tied out there. We'll see you in the
and keep them away from trap jaw ants.
Keep them away. Mic drop. Welcome to Sex Ed with Chavez and
All right.
Skin.
Okay.
We'll see you in the next one. Peace.